It is Election Day. It's a great day. It's a great day to vote, so make sure you do that. We need at least 21,000 people to vote today on Election Day for us to get our turnout of what we had in the last midterm election at 65%.
If you haven't voted early or mailed in your ballot yet, Flagler County Supervisor of Elections Katie Lenhart is urging you to get to your polling place today, Election Day, to ensure your voice is heard. Lenhart says early voting went well.
Our turnout was a little bit less than 2018. I always compare like elections, so our last midterm was a little bit less, but we had over 21,000 people vote early. So that's a good turnout. Also, our vote by mail is higher than what we saw in the last midterm, about 20,000. So right now we have the second highest turnout in the entire state of Florida, which is really amazing. I'm hoping that we get past that 65% today on Election Day.
Races of interest on the ballot in Flagler County. The District 4 seat on the County Commission is between Leanne Pennington and Jane Gentile-Yude. For Flagler Schools, Will Furry versus Courtney Vandabunty. In Palm Coast, it's Teresa Carly Pontieri versus Alan Lowe for the District 2 seat on the council, while Kathy Hyder and Fernando Melendez are competing for the District 4 seat on City Council. This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, US 1 St. Augustine, here to wow you. Local officials are working closely with emergency management partners to monitor subtropical storm Nicole. Current models, which can change at any time, indicate that the storm's path will affect a large portion of the state of Florida. According to the National Weather Service, there's a high risk of strong winds and coastal impacts beginning Wednesday, with rainfall on Wednesday through Friday. Currently, Flagler County is estimated to receive 4 inches of rain. Due to the weather, Celebrate America, an event to salute our veterans, scheduled for Saturday, November 12th at the Florida Agricultural Museum, will be rescheduled for Saturday, November 19th. Coming up at 10 o'clock this morning on WNZF, a live update from Flagler County Emergency Management Director Jonathan Lord on subtropical storm Nicole's potential impact in Flagler County. With third-grade reading scores still below average in Flagler County, experts say changes are needed in how reading is taught.
Dusty Sims is director of the statewide Bureau School Improvement Program with the Florida Department of Education and says some schools are program-heavy when it comes to teaching reading, and they need to be more profession-heavy.
Our educators aren't trained and prepared by schools and districts to teach beyond just what the program tells them to teach. And some of the programs are very scripted and very well designed, and they're good for that. But ultimately, there's got to be a personal level of how reading is going to be taught. And so teachers have to understand both the personal side and the program side. So we work hard with teachers on their pedagogy of teaching and how to implement instruction at the highest levels. And then we also work with districts on how they're implementing these programs.
University of Florida professor Dr. Holly Lane says the teachers may need to be retaught.
A lot of teachers graduated from college at a time when the current science of reading really wasn't either well known or wasn't being taught at their particular institution. Institutions of higher ed are kind of slow moving in terms of changing the way that they do coursework. And so incorporating the science into coursework may or may not have been something done when these teachers were being prepared.
Lane says the current teacher shortage also means new teacher preparation may not have been fully completed. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Rich Petchke.
The Flagler County Sheriff's Office is hoping to make teens safer when they're behind the wheel.
The Flagler County Sheriff's Office has unveiled a new program designed to educate teens at no cost about being safe while being behind the wheel of a car. Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley.
So that they don't make mistakes that could injure themselves or someone else or worse. This is a great course. It's free to attend.
1 sworn instructor and 5 sworn trainers are now certified in the Florida Sheriff's Association Teen Driver Challenge. Some of the common safety issues being addressed include speeding, driving under the influence of drugs or alcohol, texting while driving, and distracted driving. And according to the Center for Disease Control's Motor Vehicle Division, crashes are the leading cause of death for teens. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Karen Johnson.
A Flagler Beach banker is dispelling myths about the state of the housing market, at least in Flagler County.
The fear aspect is that we're going to suddenly go into this depression. We're going to go into a major housing bubble. You're going to see, foreclosures happen. And unfortunately, that's all non-factual data.
Sam Royer, National Director of Heroes First Home Loans, held an event last Friday to educate people on this topic. He weighs in on the Federal Reserve raising interest rates and how that impacts the housing market.
That ultimately does affect things like your car loans, your student loans, your credit cards. But with mortgage-backed security sales and just inflation, those are the two factors that truly go to what interest rates for mortgages do. Because mortgages are normally 10 years or more, if not 30 years. Whereas the Fed funds rate that just got raised, that is something that affects shorter-term loans.
From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Amy Cherry.
If you were on the job for nearly 40 years, would you walk away from it?
Dave Leiden is a lieutenant colonel now, but is on his way to being a full colonel once the board's decision is announced. That will be in February. Looking back, though, he said he never expected this.
When I started with nothing on my sleeves as an enlisted person back in 1985, I never thought I'd be commissioned, and then every rank after that has just been gravy.
Leiden sees veterans from all the services who need help with any number of issues. Listen to the Flagler Voice on WNZF on Saturday mornings at 8:30 or on the Flagler radio app. Tomorrow, experience pays off. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.